If you want, it's Emily, welcome back on my channel. Today's video is going to be a YouTube made me buy it, but this time it's going to be a drugstore edition. I wanted to talk about products that are fantastic, but are also super affordable. There's the whole back to school, but let's be real, drugstore products that are great are good all year round. So I thought I would share some of my favorite YouTube made me buy it products. All of these products, I don't think I would have purchased myself if it wasn't for YouTube. Either I started watching YouTube videos and these were things that were recommended, or things I just wouldn't have purchased either because they were really cheap or like a little bit more expensive to drugstore, so I was just like not interested in testing them. The first thing has to be the Wet n Wild eyeshadows, and I mean they're 8 pans, they're single pans, they're 3 pans eyeshadow palettes. I would have never grabbed them because Wet n Wild is so affordable that sometimes if you're new to makeup, you just don't trust them. It can't be good if it's that cheap. I actually wanted to do a Liquid D Comfort Zone palette, but I tried for the first time the other day a new retinol cream, and I'm currently looking like a skin that is just shedding its skin. I'm not gonna zoom you in, but even all over my eyelids, I just have like dead skin everywhere, and I've been scrubbing my face and moisturizing it, but it's just like nothing I can do right now. Yeah, but let me just tell you, these are fantastic eyeshadows. Not only are they really great quality, they're super pigmented. You just can't go wrong with them. Like even this one single eyeshadow, this one is the color Brûlée, and it's actually exactly the same color as the MAC eyeshadow of the same name. And matte eyeshadows, I feel like, can be really tricky. Sometimes they're not smooth or they're kind of patchy, and this one, it's kind of close to my skin tone, but I'm still going to show you. It's actually such a smooth eyeshadow. It's amazing, really fantastic, and I wish they had more colors. Actually, all of their eyeshadows, I wish they had more colors. They have a taupey one called Nutty, and they used to have a green one. I feel like they keep like discontinuing more shades, and they shouldn't. They're so good. So definitely one of my favorite for sure. This one was Brûlée, and they're 3 pans. I keep raving about them, but why not? They're definitely fantastic. This one is the Silent Treatment palette. I only use their like lid color. I feel like this is the best quality one. Look how gorgeous that is. That's a gorgeous taupey color. Kind of has a little bit of purple-ish in there, but if you blend it in your crease, it kind of looks a little brown. Really, really fantastic. Love that one. Just one last one. This one is the color Walking on Eggshell. Super beginner friendly. Again, I used the lid color. You can see this is just a great champagne color, but for being so cheap, they're so good. Look at that color. It's so gorgeous. Absolutely love it. Would totally recommend it. All over your lid, you blend maybe your bronzer in your crease and you're good to go. So fantastic ones. And even they're like colored ones. Let me just swatch one more. Let's swatch this color because it's like the best color ever. You can see how beautiful that is. So definitely Wet n Wild needs to just come out with way more colors because they're so pretty. So yeah, Wet n Wild, basically their eyeshadow palettes, I would have never purchased them because they kind of look cheap. They are very affordable to the point that you're just second guessing. They can't be that great if they're like under $5, even the big palettes. So yeah, I don't think I would have ever purchased their palettes if it wasn't for YouTube constantly saying that they're great, and now I consider some of these colors better than high-end eyeshadows. They're really that good. But yeah, the only negative things is that they don't have enough, and I don't like their limited edition palettes in general. I feel like they're not the same quality, so they need to come out with more permanent palettes of this quality. Speaking of Wet n Wild, I tried to compensate for the lack of eyeshadow and like even cheap product by a bright lipstick. So I also want to talk about their Megalast lipsticks. And I feel like on YouTube you can hear a lot of people talk about these, but in real life I never hear anyone mention these. And if it wasn't for YouTube, I would have never even looked at these because they're what, like $2? The packaging, very, very cheap looking. It's like plastic and it's like kind of wiggly, and you do have the color and the name underneath. You get a decent amount of lipstick, but this definitely looks like, you know, kids makeup. But the quality of the not eyeshadow, the quality of the lipstick is amazing, and I'm wearing that color right now. This is the color Caroline, and I love so many of them. I actually did a full lip swatch video, so I'll link it so you can watch them. But the formula reminds me a mix of the MAC, like matte and retro matte finishes. They're not as drying as the retro matte, but they're definitely like in between. You can see there's a little bit of shine right now. They stain like crazy. Like if I swatch them on my arm, it will be there forever. but it also means that it fades nicely. The color will be like stuck on your lips throughout the day because even if you remove it, your lips are that color now. If you have super sensitive lips that are like sensitive to dryness, they're not necessarily the ones I would recommend, but if you like a good matte lipstick with a little bit of shine, definitely recommend these. They're really great, super affordable, and they have a really great range of colors too. So definitely would have never purchased these if it wasn't for YouTube because, I mean, they don't look very fancy, but they're really good. I wasn't kidding when I was saying that they stain because my lips are gonna be this color forever now. I'm stuck with bright lips all day. More things I would have purchased if it wasn't for YouTube. This mascara. This is the Essence I Heart Extreme Crazy Volume Mascaras. And Essence, I feel like is not available everywhere very easily. And again, when I see stands of it, they're completely destroyed because again, very, very affordable. And I feel like everyone has opened everything, cracked everything, and just left it there to die. And this has been something I've heard so many people on YouTube mention, saying that it was really great. And this is my second tube. The first time I tried it, I liked it, but I felt like it was flaking a little bit. And I've been trying it out again because I'm planning a full review videos of all the Essence mascaras. Keep an eye out, it's coming. And I really like this one. It's really good. It's the one that I hear the most people talk about compared to like the 16 of them that I've been trying. And it's really good. It's a kind of natural everyday type of mascara. You do get a, ooh, here we go. You get a huge brush. Here we go. And it is plastic bristle, but they're super, super short. They don't hurt your eyes whatsoever. It just separates your lashes super well. I've been wearing that in my last couple of videos and I've been like getting so many questions. And yes, it's this mascara. I've been really enjoying it. It's great, but I don't think I would have ever purchased this if it wasn't for YouTube. So thank you, YouTube. Speaking of mascara and YouTube, actually, I will be posting a picture because I currently don't have it with me, but the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. I feel like L'Oreal, their mascaras are just a little bit more expensive than other brands, and I was always like, meh, the brush looks like really tiny. I don't feel like it's gonna do a lot for me. I usually like big brushes like this, especially like plastic ones, and this one is like long and thin, and I'm like, that can't do a lot for my lashes. And I had done a first impression video, again, I'll link it if you want to see it, but I was shocked. Like, this is such a great mascara and I would totally repurchase it. I probably will in the future, but I'm currently, like I said, testing so many, I can't really justify it, but fantastic mascara, gives me so much length. I do have pretty long lashes, but this gives me like so much length. My lashes are basically up to my eyebrows. I mean, who doesn't want that? So if you were looking for really great lengthening mascara, I would highly recommend that one, but would have never purchased this without YouTube because I saw it forever at a drugstore and I would never pick it up. And everyone kept saying it was a holy grail, try it. And yes, definitely a holy grail now. Another product that I tried kind of late, I feel like everyone was talking about it, is the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation. And they have two formulas now, but they used to have only one. And it's so good. Like, I didn't try it for years. I kept hearing people mention it. I was like, meh. I don't know if that's gonna really be like natural on the skin. I feel like a lot of people were saying that it looks just flawless on the skin. And I used to not be a fan of anything that was like too thick on the face. I just didn't like the way of like, I just didn't want people to be able to like tell you're wearing makeup, kinda. And this is the perfect foundation for this, especially the Hydrate and Smooth or Dew and Smooth, depending on where you live. And this looks like skin. It looks like you have a flawless skin, and it's also something I had done the first impression because I was shocked. I was trying it, I was like, whoa, type of foundation that looks almost better throughout the day instead of getting worse. It just looks like second skin. You have perfect skin because of this. It's awesome. And I used to have really dry skin, and this was the only foundation that wouldn't emphasize dry patches. I feel like everything else would just emphasize them and just makes you look, it just made it look worse, and I just really didn't like it. And they now have the matte formula, which has a little bit more coverage and it's a little bit more matte. I don't have dry skin anymore, but I do really like the matte formula, and if I want a little bit more hydration and dewiness, I mix them together, and it's a really great combo. But yeah, I just never reached for it before I saw it constantly on YouTube, possibly because there's no pump, which I wish they had a pump. But I mean, except for that, it's a really, really great foundation that I definitely recommend. It's super beginner friendly too because it looks so smooth naturally on the skin. It's something that's gonna look great whether you use it with your hands, a brush, or a sponge. So definitely super beginner friendly or anyone friendly. Let's go with cheek products because I have a couple. The first one is a product that I saw the Drugstore that brand, but it's a little bit more expensive than the other brands, and I just didn't know if it was going to be worth the investment, and it is Physician Formula. Depending where you're from, it's between like $15 to $20 almost, and it's not cheap for a drugstore. But their bronze booster kept being mentioned nonstop on YouTube, being like, oh, the best drugstore bronzer, and I feel like cheek products at the drugstore are definitely one of the things that can be really hit and miss. Sometimes they're like just really powdery and chalky. Sometimes they just disappear from your cheeks after like 5 minutes, which is just not fun. What's the point of applying blush if it's going to be gone before the end of the day? But this is awesome. And it's not too orange, which is a big problem again at the drugstore. This one is the color like medium to dark, I believe. They have two colors. And as you can see, this is definitely not dark. Like this is still very, very light. And if I swatch it, you can see how it's a gorgeous matte bronzer. It's not chalky. It doesn't have like a bunch of glitter, which also is a problem sometimes at the drugstore. Really, really fantastic formula. It just goes on like a dream on your cheeks. It is a little bit more expensive than other brands, but totally worth the money. Definitely do not regret buying this. I just wish the packaging wasn't so bulky. I know there's usually like a sponge or something, a little brush in there, which I don't use. You do get a mirror, but it just is a little bit big. But other than that, fantastic bronzer, would totally recommend. Again, super beginner friendly. Really fantastic, but I don't think I would have ever purchased this simply because of the price. Which is weird because like I would go to Sephora, I'll invest the money in a bronzer that's more expensive than this. But in my head, if you go to a drugstore and you have to spend $20, it's like, let's talk about highlighters because the drugstore has been stepping up its game a lot about highlighters. But this one is definitely a little bit more old school. And I would have never purchased this if it wasn't for YouTube. And it is the Art Candy Glow All The Way Bronzer. It is the color Tiki, and it's definitely a highlighter. As you can see, it's fairly light. It is a shimmery highlighter. It's incredibly smooth when you touch it. And it isn't one of those like really extreme highlighters that are really popular right now. It's not frosty. It does have a little bit of like fine shimmer in it, but just in a sense that it looks like you've been like out in the sun and you're just like shiny, not glittery, and it's really not frosty. I'm actually wearing it on my cheeks today, and it just gives you a really nice, gorgeous glow. And like I said, definitely the whole like Victoria's Secret goddess type of look. So if that's something you are into and you're looking for, I would highly recommend this color. It's gorgeous. Really love it. Another one that is fairly natural but really popular on YouTube is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. And again, not something I would necessarily purchase because it's so cheap. Another one that is really smooth, and you can see that one is a little bit lighter. Again, incredibly smooth. This one is a like glow from within. As you can see, there's no like glitter particle in there, no shimmer particle. It's just a natural glowy highlighter. It's probably the closest thing to the Laura Mercier matte highlighter that I'm always raving about. It's really great. I love it. Can't get enough of it. Again, incredibly affordable. So if you were looking for a really nice, glowy, but not shimmery, not frosty highlighter from drugstore, it would be worth it to try and hunt for it because good luck finding it. But if you do, I really recommend you just grab it and start using it instantly. It's really good. So I don't think I would have purchased this. Essence was just too hard to find for me to like think it was worth it, but I definitely am there now and telling you, totally worth it. Okay, one more Essence product. I feel like this is just like me talking about them nonstop, but they just changed them recently, but I'm gonna show you the old one and the new one, but their blushes are also really great. I was mentioning how cheap products at drugstore, I feel like very often the blushes are either like streaky when you try to apply them, they're full of glitter, or they just disappear on you like super quickly, but their blushes are really fantastic. This is the old ones. I think they discontinued them. They're the Silky Touch blushes, but now they have the Satin Touch blushes. So I'm going to be swatching these ones because they're really great, and you can see I'm new. So this one is the color Satin Love, and this one's a little bit more mauve-y. But look at the pattern in them, like how adorable is this? So they are basically, they say satin, but pretty much matte. There's no shimmer, there's no glitter in them. They're really pigmented too, but not to the point that they will make you look like a clown. I feel like the Wet n Wild ones can be a little too pigmented. depending on the color. But look how stunning that is. Such a great blush. You would not think that this is like drugstore under $5 type of product. Really fantastic. They last all day long. They go on like flawlessly on your cheeks. You just can't go wrong with them. And the next color that I have is the color number 10, Satin Coral. And as the name would suggest, it is a coral blush. Such a really nice color for like every day during the summer. Whoops, I showed you the blush again instead of the finger. So as you can see, this one has a little bit of a white base though, but it's really, really cute. Really nice, peachy, springy, summery type of color. Would definitely recommend also. I think the only issue would be the fact that they're hard to find and they don't have enough colors. They definitely need more shades because they're really gorgeous. The quality is awesome. But I don't think as a whole I would purchase much from Essence if it wasn't for YouTube. So I think that's gonna be it for today. Let me know what products you would have never purchased if it wasn't for YouTube Drugstore Edition. So your favorite drugstore products that you discovered because of YouTube. I feel like YouTube has been the reason I purchased pretty much half of my collection, especially in the beginning. I was just trusting people. It was just fantastic to hear about products that I never heard anyone in real life talk about. So that's gonna be it today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't miss any future videos. I will be linking on the screen some other videos that I've done, so I highly recommend you check those out too, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.